My teacher said I'd never be anything. I dedicated my award speech to her. They say words can't break you. That's a lie. Words can shatter you into pieces so small you forget what you looked like whole. I was 16 when a teacher told me I'd never be anything more than average. She said it in front of my entire class, with a smirk that suggested she enjoyed watching me crumble. She ripped up my work, crushed my dreams, and tried to bury my future before it even began. But here's what she didn't know. Sometimes the people who try hardest to break you end up building you into something unbreakable. This is the story of how I turned my teacher's cruelty into my greatest motivation, and how I stood on a national stage and thanked her for it. Hey everyone! Before we dive into today's incredible story, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. Are you from the US, UK, Canada, Australia, or somewhere else? Drop your city or country. If you're enjoying our content, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss our amazing stories. Share this with friends who love powerful comeback stories. Now, let's get into it. I'm standing at the blackboard in Ms. Cora Whitfield's math class, chalk dust on my fingers, my hands trembling so badly I can barely hold the marker. The problem she gave me is impossible, advanced calculus we haven't even covered yet. She knows I can't solve it. Everyone knows. Well? Ms. Whitfield's voice cuts through the silence like a knife. We're waiting, Nora. I stare at the numbers, my mind blank with panic. Behind me, students shift in their seats. Someone giggles. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Ms. Whitfield announces to the class, walking slowly toward me. Her heels click against the tile floor like a countdown. Some students simply aren't cut out for academic success. Nora, you're trying so hard, but the truth is, you'll never be anything more than average. Some people just aren't meant to succeed. The words hit me like physical blows. My face burns hot. I hear more laughter, whispers spreading like wildfire. Then Ms. Whitfield does something I'll never forget. She picks up my English essay from her desk, the one I worked on for 3 weeks, staying up until midnight, pouring my heart into every word, and slowly, deliberately, tears it in half. The sound of ripping paper echoes in my skull. Mediocre work deserves mediocre treatment, she says, dropping the pieces into the trash. I run to the girls' restroom the second the bell rings. My vision blurs with tears I refuse to let fall in front of anyone. I lock myself in the last stall and finally let myself break down, pressing my hand over my mouth to muffle the sobs. The door opens. I freeze, holding my breath. You all right in there, honey? It's Mrs. Martinez, the janitor. Her voice is gentle, concerned. I'm fine, I lie, my voice cracking. No, you're not. And that's okay. She pauses. I heard what happened in Whitfield's class. That woman's been breaking students for 20 years. I wipe my eyes and unlock the stall door. Mrs. Martinez hands me a paper towel. Why does she do it? I whisper. Mrs. Martinez sighs, leaning against the sink. Usually, the broken ones are the ones who break others. She's miserable, so she spreads misery. Don't let her poison get inside you. I nod, trying to believe her. Later, when I open my locker, a folded piece of notebook paper falls out. I pick it up with shaking hands. Nobody likes a tryhard. Give up already. The handwriting belongs to Jessica, one of Ms. Whitfield's favorite students. I make a decision that night while lying in bed, staring at my ceiling. I'm not giving up. I'm going to prove every single one of them wrong. The next day, I sign up for the after-school writing club. Writing is the only thing I'm actually good at, the only place where I feel like myself. I fill out the registration form in the guidance office, my heart pounding with nervous excitement. Then I see the faculty advisor's name at the bottom of the form, Ms. Cora Whitfield. My stomach drops. Of course she runs the writing club. Of course. On the first day, I walk into the classroom 20 minutes early. Ms. Whitfield is already there, organizing papers on her desk. She looks up when I enter, and a slow smile spreads across her face. Not a friendly smile. A predatory one. Nora. What a surprise. She sets down her papers. I didn't realize you were interested in writing. I am, I say, trying to sound confident. She walks toward me slowly, studying me like I'm a specimen under glass. This club is for achievers, Nora. Students with real potential. Are you sure you belong here? My hands clench into fists at my sides. Yes. I'm sure. The first writing club meeting is torture. Ms. Whitfield critiques every student's work with surgical precision, except she saves her harshest, most cutting words for mine. When I read my short story aloud, my voice already shaking with nervousness, she interrupts me 3 times to point out clumsy phrasing, amateur mistakes, and derivative themes. By the time I finish, I can barely look up from my paper. Other students shift uncomfortably in their seats, but nobody speaks up to defend me. After the meeting, I'm packing my notebook with trembling hands when someone clears their throat behind me. I turn to see Mr. Adler, the substitute English teacher who fills in when teachers are sick or on leave. He's young, maybe late 20s, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses and a worn leather messenger bag slung over his shoulder. "Can I see what you wrote?" he asks quietly, glancing toward the door to make sure Ms. Whitfield has left. I hesitate, then hand him my story, expecting more criticism. He reads it right there, leaning against a desk, his expression focused and serious. When he finishes, he looks at me with something I haven't seen from a teacher in months, genuine respect. "This is really good, Nora. You have genuine talent. The imagery here is vivid, and your character voice is authentic." My throat tightens with emotion, tears threatening to spill. Ms. Whitfield said it was amateur work. Ms. Whitfield is wrong. He pulls a flyer from his messenger bag and hands it to me with steady hands. "There's a national youth writing competition. Submissions are open for another month. I think you should enter. I think you could win." The flyer is glossy, professional, with elegant typography. First prize is $5,000 and publication in a major literary magazine. I couldn't, I whisper, already listing reasons why it's impossible. "Why not?" "Because I'm not good enough. Because Ms. Whitfield is right about me." Mr. Adler meets my eyes steadily. "That's her voice in your head. Not yours. You need to learn the difference." I spend a week debating whether to enter the competition. The deadline is approaching fast. I write and rewrite my submission piece a dozen times, second-guessing every sentence. The problem is, to submit through the school, I need a teacher's signature and approval. I need Ms. Whitfield's signature. I approach her after class one Thursday, the entry form clutched in my sweaty hands. She's erasing the blackboard, her back to me. "Ms. Whitfield? I need you to sign something." She turns, eyebrows raised. I hand her the form. She reads it slowly, her expression shifting from curiosity to something darker. "A national competition? Nora, I don't think that's wise." "Why not?" "Because you'll embarrass yourself. More importantly, you'll embarrass this school." She hands the form back unsigned. "I can't in good conscience allow you to damage our reputation." My hands shake with anger and humiliation. "I'm going to enter anyway." Her eyes narrow. Not through this school, you won't. That evening, Mr. Adler finds me in the library, defeated and ready to give up. She won't sign it, I tell him. He nods slowly. Then we submit it without her. We meet at the school computer lab at 11 p.m. Mr. Adler has a key because he helps with the school newspaper. The building is dark and eerily quiet, our footsteps echoing through empty hallways. Are you sure about this? I whisper as he unlocks the lab door. Positive. You have every right to enter. She can't stop you. I upload my essay to the competition website, my fingers flying across the keyboard. The deadline is in 15 minutes. My heart pounds as I fill out the final forms, attach my piece, and hover my mouse over the submit button. Do it, Mr. Adler encourages. I click. Entry submitted successfully appears on the screen. We both exhale in relief. Mr. Adler locks up, and we leave through the side entrance. The parking lot is empty except for his car and mine. What I don't see is the shadow watching us from a second-floor window. Someone saw everything. I'm called to Principal Henderson's office first thing Monday morning. My stomach churns as I walk through the main office. Students stare at me through the glass walls. Principal Henderson sits behind his desk, expression stern. Ms. Whitfield sits in the chair beside him, her hands folded primly in her lap. Nora, we received a concerning report, Principal Henderson begins. Ms. Whitfield says you broke into the computer lab Friday night. I didn't break in. Mr. Adler gave me permission. Ms. Whitfield's eyes flash with triumph. You had no authorization to use school property after hours. This is grounds for suspension. My world tilts. Suspension would destroy my college applications, my future. Wait. Mr. Adler's voice comes from the doorway. He walks in holding a tablet. I have security footage from Friday night. It clearly shows I unlocked the lab and supervised Nora the entire time. She had explicit permission. Principal Henderson reviews the footage. His expression softens. This seems to be a misunderstanding, he says carefully. Nora, you're not suspended. But in the future, please ensure all after-hours activities are properly documented. Ms. Whitfield's face goes rigid with anger. After I leave the office, Principal Henderson asks me to wait outside. Through the partially open door, I hear him speaking to Ms. Whitfield in low tones. Cora, I need you to be careful. The Whitfield family has significant influence in this district, but targeting students isn't acceptable. Wait. The Whitfield family? I didn't realize she came from money and power. That evening, I receive an anonymous email. No subject line. Just one sentence. You think you're better than us now? I show it to my mom, who insists I report it. But who would I report it to? Ms. Whitfield controls everything. That night, I can't sleep. I keep thinking about what Principal Henderson said. If Ms. Whitfield's family is powerful, crossing her could make the rest of high school unbearable. But I've already crossed her. There's no going back now. 6 weeks pass. I throw myself into schoolwork, avoiding Ms. Whitfield as much as possible. Then one Tuesday morning, I check my email and nearly drop my phone. Congratulations! You have been selected as a semifinalist in the National Youth Writing Competition. I read it 3 times to make sure it's real. Tears stream down my face, relief, joy, disbelief all crashing together. I'm a semifinalist. Out of thousands of entries, they chose mine. The competition organizers notify my school automatically. By lunch, everyone knows. Students congratulate me in the hallways. Teachers smile at me differently. And then Ms. Whitfield makes her announcement in English class. I'm so proud to announce that our very own Nora made it to the semifinals. As her mentor, I'm thrilled to have played a part in her development as a writer. My jaw drops. Mentor? She tried to sabotage me. After class, she corners me by my locker. Nora, we should work together to refine your piece for the finals. I can help you improve it significantly. Her smile is poison wrapped in honey. I sense the trap immediately. I meet Mr. Adler in his classroom during lunch. He's grading papers, but he looks up when I close the door. Ms. Whitfield wants to help me with my finals piece, I say. He sets down his red pen. Don't trust her. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Why would she suddenly want to help? Because if you win, she'll take credit. If you lose, she'll say she tried to fix your mistakes but you wouldn't listen. He leans back in his chair. She's covering all her bases. I slump into a student desk. What do I do? Keep working on your own. Don't show her anything. And document everything, every conversation, every email. Just in case. His warning proves prophetic faster than either of us expect. I'm walking past the staff lounge Thursday after school when I hear Miss Whitfield's voice through the partially open door. She's laughing, talking to other teachers. Did you read Nora's submission? It's such childish pity writing. She probably made up half the sob stories. My blood runs cold. I freeze in the hallway. Another teacher, I think it's Mr. Reynolds, says, Cora, that seems harsh. The judges seem to like it. The judges pity her. That's different from talent. Ms. Whitfield's voice drips with contempt. Mark my words, she won't make it past semifinals. She doesn't have what it takes. My hands shake as I pull out my phone and press record. I capture the entire conversation, her mocking my work, questioning my integrity, predicting my failure. When she finally stops talking, I slip away before anyone notices me. That night, I listened to the recording a dozen times, my anger building with each playback. Hope you're loving this story so far. Quick reminder to drop a comment telling us your city or country. We love hearing from our global audience. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this story, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and turn on notifications so you catch all our incredible stories. Now, back to Nora's journey. The next morning, I show the recording to Mr. Adler. His face darkens as he listens. This is worse than I thought, he says. You need to keep this safe. Don't share it with anyone yet. But fate has other plans. During fourth period, I notice students whispering and glancing at their phones. By lunch, the hallways buzz with gossip. Someone approaches me cautiously. Nora, did you mean to post that recording? What recording? They show me their phone. The audio file I recorded is circulating on the school's anonymous gossip app. Someone must have accessed my cloud storage, or maybe I accidentally shared it. Either way, it's out. By the end of the day, everyone has heard Ms. Whitfield's cruel words. The school divides into camps. Some students defend me, calling Ms. Whitfield toxic. Others say I'm manipulative for recording her without consent. Teachers whisper in clusters. And Ms. Whitfield? She summons me to her classroom after final bell, her eyes blazing with fury. You did this deliberately, she hisses, slamming her classroom door behind me. You recorded me and leaked it to embarrass me. I didn't leak it, I say, keeping my voice steady even though my heart is racing. I never meant for anyone else to hear it. You're a liar and a manipulator. You think you're so clever, don't you? She steps closer, invading my space. Let me make something very clear, Nora. I have connections in this state that go far beyond this school. If you continue down this path, I will personally ensure that your academic future ends here. No college will touch you. No scholarship committee will take you seriously. I will end you. The threat hangs in the air between us. I meet her eyes, refusing to look away. I'm going to the finals. And I'm going to win. She laughs, sharp and bitter. We'll see about that. When I leave her classroom, my hands are shaking so badly I can barely hold my backpack. But I'm not backing down. 2 weeks later, I receive the email that changes everything. Congratulations. You have been selected as a national finalist. I scream so loud my mom runs into my room, terrified something's wrong. When I show her the email, we both cry and hug and jump around my bedroom like children. I'm going to the capital. I'm going to compete on a national stage. The competition provides travel stipends for finalists. My whole family, mom, dad, and my little brother Marcus, will come with me. The school makes an announcement during morning assembly. Students applaud. Even Miss Whitfield is forced to clap, though her smile looks like it's carved from ice. That evening, I get a text from an unknown number. Remember where you came from. Don't let success make you forget your place. C.W. Ms. Whitfield. Still trying to keep me small. I delete the text and start packing for the capital. The awards ceremony venue is massive, a historic theater with velvet seats and gold-trimmed balconies that seem to reach toward the impossibly high ceiling. Crystal chandeliers hang like frozen waterfalls, casting warm light across everything. Backstage, I meet the other finalists. There are 12 of us total, from all over the country, from Alaska to Florida. Some go to elite private schools with sprawling campuses and six-figure tuitions. Others, like me, are public school kids who fought their way here against impossible odds. One girl tells me she's from a town so small it doesn't have a bookstore. Another says he wrote his submission in a homeless shelter. The energy is electric, nervous, excited. We're strangers bonded by the terrifying thrill of being here, of having our words chosen from thousands. I'm reviewing my notes, trying to calm my racing thoughts, when an organizer approaches me, her expression uncomfortable and apologetic. Nora. We need to discuss something urgent. She leads me to a private room away from the other finalists. We received a formal complaint this morning alleging you plagiarized your submission. My stomach drops like I've been pushed off a building. What? That's not true. I wrote every single word myself. Every sentence came from my own experiences. We believe you. But we're legally required to investigate all claims before we can proceed. She shows me an email on her tablet, and my blood turns to ice. This was sent by a Miss Cora Whitfield, claiming to have concrete evidence you copied significant portions from her personal work. Rage burns through my initial shock. Even here, hundreds of miles from home, she's trying to destroy me. She followed me across state lines just to tear me down. The organizer asks me to provide proof of authorship. I pull out my laptop and show her everything. My Google Docs revision history showing weeks of edits, earlier drafts with timestamps, my brainstorming notes, even text messages where I discussed ideas with friends. The evidence is overwhelming. I wrote this. Every sentence came from my own mind and heart. This is more than sufficient, the organizer says, visibly relieved. We'll dismiss the complaint immediately. Can you tell me who filed it? I ask, even though I already know. She hesitates. It was Ms. Whitfield. And a student named Jessica Chen. Jessica. Ms. Whitfield's favorite. The one who left that cruel note in my locker. They're both here? My voice comes out strangled. They purchased spectator tickets. They're in the audience. I feel sick. They came all this way just to watch me fail. To make sure I failed. What happens now? I ask. Now? You go out there and show them what you're capable of. The performance round requires each finalist to read a portion of their work aloud. I'm scheduled 7th. I sit backstage, my hands sweating, mentally rehearsing my piece. Through a gap in the curtain, I spot Ms. Whitfield and Jessica sitting in the 3rd row, whispering to each other. When my name is called, I walk onto the stage on legs that barely hold me up. The spotlight is blinding. I can't see the audience clearly, which is somehow both terrifying and comforting. I open my notebook to the passage I've chosen, the most personal, vulnerable section of my essay. It's about feeling invisible, about being told you're nothing, about the moment you decide to prove everyone wrong. My voice shakes on the first sentence. I pause, take a breath, and continue. By the 2nd paragraph, my voice steadies. The words pour out, raw and honest. I talk about humiliation. About cruelty disguised as teaching. About the adults who break children and call it preparation for the real world. The theater is absolutely silent. When I finish, there's a beat of quiet. Then the applause starts, tentative at first, then building, until people are on their feet. A standing ovation. Through the spotlight glare, I see Ms. Whitfield's face. She's not clapping. I float through the rest of the evening in a daze. Other finalists read their pieces, all of them brilliant, moving, worthy of being here. But the standing ovation I received lingers in my mind like proof that I belong here. During the intermission, a reporter from the local news approaches me. That was powerful, she says. Can I ask you a few questions? She interviews me about my writing process, my inspirations. I'm careful not to mention Ms. Whitfield by name, but I talk about overcoming negativity and believing in yourself when others don't. The interview will air tomorrow on the evening news. After the final performance, the judges retire to deliberate. We finalists gather in a reception area, nervous and exhausted. Some exchange contact information. Others pace frantically. I find a quiet corner and close my eyes, trying to calm my racing heart. Finalists, please return to the main theater, an organizer announces. This is it. The results. We sit in the front row, 12 teenagers who've poured their hearts onto paper. The lead judge takes the stage with a sealed envelope. This year's competition saw record submissions, she begins. Over 5,000 students entered. The work we've seen today represents the best of a generation of voices. My hands grip the armrests. Please. Please. The winner of the youth writing competition, receiving a $5,000 prize and publication in Literary Voices magazine, is. The pause feels eternal. Nora Chen. Wait. That's me. That's my name. I won. I actually won. The theater erupts in applause. Someone nudges me toward the stage. I float up the steps, my vision blurred with tears. The judge hands me a crystal trophy and an envelope. Cameras flash from every direction. The applause is deafening. And then the host says, Nora, would you like to say a few words? A microphone appears in my hand. I look out at the audience, at the faces of strangers who believed in my words. And then I see her, Ms. Whitfield, frozen in her seat, her expression unreadable. This is my moment. I step to the center of the stage, microphone trembling in my hand. My heart pounds so hard I can feel it in my throat. I want to dedicate this award to someone very specific, I begin, my voice echoing through the theater. To the teacher who told me I'd never be anything more than average. Who tore up my work in front of my classmates. Who tried to sabotage my entry to this competition. The audience goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. I want to thank her, because she gave me something to prove. She showed me exactly who I didn't want to become. And every time I wanted to quit, I thought about her words and decided to keep going. So thank you, Ms. Whitfield, for pushing me to prove you wrong. The theater explodes with applause and gasps. People are standing again, but this time there's an energy of vindication, of justice served. I see Ms. Whitfield stand abruptly and rush toward the exit. Reporters notice and follow her, shouting questions. I don't watch her leave. I focus on the people cheering for me, celebrating not just my victory but the defeat of bullies everywhere. The story goes viral overnight. Someone recorded my speech and posted it online. By morning, it has 2 million views. The comments pour in. This is what revenge looks like, succeeding despite them. I'm crying. I had a teacher like this too. Ms. Whitfield should be fired. News outlets pick it up. Student thanks bully teacher in award speech becomes a national headline. Reporters dig into Ms. Whitfield's history at our school. Former students come forward with their own stories. A girl who graduated 3 years ago describes how Ms. Whitfield destroyed her confidence. A boy talks about being humiliated in class for having dyslexia. The school board launches a formal investigation. My phone rings. It's Mr. Adler. Nora, they want you to testify. The school board. They're building a case, and your testimony could make the difference. My hands shake. What if it makes things worse? It won't. You already won. Now you're just making sure she can't hurt anyone else. Mr. Adler reveals something I never knew. Over coffee at a diner near school, he shows me documents he's been collecting for months. Ms. Whitfield has done this before, he explains. Not just to you. There's a pattern going back 15 years, targeting students who show promise, breaking them down, sabotaging their success. Why hasn't anyone stopped her? Her family has money and influence in the district. Complaints were filed and buried. Parents were intimidated into silence. He slides a folder across the table. Until now. Inside are printed emails, formal complaints, even a letter from a parent threatening legal action, all swept under the rug. The board can't ignore this anymore, Mr. Adler says. Not with national attention on the story. But they need someone to go on record. Someone credible. Me. He nods. If you're willing. I know it's asking a lot. I think about all the students who came before me. All the ones who'll come after if someone doesn't stop her. When's the hearing? The school board hearing takes place in a sterile conference room with fluorescent lights and uncomfortable chairs. Board members sit behind a long table. Ms. Whitfield sits with her lawyer, her face composed but her hands clenched tight. I sit at a smaller table with my parents beside me. Mr. Adler is there too, as my witness. The board asks me to describe my experiences. I tell them everything, the public humiliation, the torn essay, the sabotage attempts, the threats. Ms. Whitfield's lawyer tries to discredit me. Isn't it true you recorded Ms. Whitfield without her consent? Yes. Because I knew no one would believe me otherwise. Isn't it true you've harbored resentment toward Ms. Whitfield since receiving poor grades? No. I harbored resentment since she told me I'd never be anything and then tried to prevent me from proving her wrong. The board reviews all the evidence, my recordings, the complaint emails, testimony from other students and parents. After 3 hours, they call a recess. When they return, the board chair looks directly at Ms. Whitfield. Effective immediately, you are suspended pending removal proceedings. Ms. Whitfield's face goes white. 2 weeks later, I'm invited back to school to speak at a special assembly. The topic, perseverance and overcoming adversity. I'm nervous walking into the auditorium. These are the same students who witnessed my humiliation. Some laughed. Some stayed silent. A few defended me. Now they give me a standing ovation as I walk onto the stage. I talk about my journey, the lows and the highs. I talk about how the cruelest moments shaped me, how rejection can become fuel if you let it. The people who try to break you, I say, looking out at hundreds of faces, they're usually the most broken inside. Don't let their poison become yours. After the assembly, I walk through the hallways one last time. Past Ms. Whitfield's old classroom, now assigned to a new teacher. Past my locker where that cruel note was left. And then I see her. Ms. Whitfield is at her old classroom door, a cardboard box in her arms, clearing out the last of her things. She's not wearing makeup. Her hair is pulled back messily. She looks smaller somehow, diminished. Our eyes meet across the hallway. For a moment, neither of us moves. I could walk away. I've already won. There's nothing left to prove. But I find myself walking toward her instead. She stiffens as I approach, her grip tightening on the box. Nora, she says, her voice brittle. I suppose you're here to gloat. No. I take a breath. I'm here to tell you that I became something despite you. Not because of you. Her eyes glisten with unshed tears. For the first time since I've known her, she looks genuinely vulnerable. I was trying to prepare you for a harsh world, she says weakly. No. You were passing on the pain someone gave to you. I pause. I hope you find peace. I really do. But you can't hurt students anymore. She looks down at the box in her arms, at the remnants of a career built on breaking others. I'm sorry, she whispers. It might be the first honest thing she's ever said to me. I know. I turn and walk away. Behind me, students line the hallways, watching. As I reach the exit, they begin to applaud, softly at first, then building until the sound follows me out the doors and into the parking lot where my parents are waiting. In the car, my mom asks, "How do you feel?" I think about the trophy on my desk at home. About the publication deal. About the scholarship offers flooding my email. About Ms. Whitfield's hollow apology. I feel free, I say finally. Because the best revenge isn't destroying your enemy. It's building a life so beautiful that their cruelty becomes irrelevant. It's becoming everything they said you couldn't be, not to spite them, but to honor yourself. As we drive away from the school, I don't look back. I'm too busy looking forward. What an incredible story. Thanks for watching till the end. Please let us know in the comments where you tuned in from. We love connecting with our amazing global community. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up if this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and hit that notification bell so you catch all our future content. Remember, your story isn't over. Keep proving them wrong. See you in